Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. And today I've decided to start a new project. I don't actually know how this project is called because I've seen a video about it like very long time ago and it just popped in my head like 2 days ago, and I decided to film this video and start this project. So I'm not actually sure how it's called, but I'm gonna call it Project 20 Uses. If it has another name and you remember it from the top of your head, write it down below and I'll change the title. But I just wasn't able to find it on the internet how it's called, and I'm sure I've heard it somewhere, and I'm sure like once I see the name it will click, but I just can't figure it right now. So Project 20 Uses. I wanna again rotate my collection and get more uses out of my collection. I mean, I do try to rotate it pretty evenly, and there's usually no palettes that I wouldn't. There's usually no problem for me to use my palettes at least once a year. But I still want to get a little bit more uses than that. And also I want to like slow down on the purchases this year. So what this project will be about, I'm gonna randomly pick 4 or 5 eyeshadow palettes. I'm not completely sure, we'll see how it's gonna go. But I'm gonna pick 4 to 5 eyeshadow palettes, and the goal is to hit 20 uses on them. So no matter what amount of uses they have currently, because I could, I could pick a palette that already has 100 uses. Whatever the number is right now, we're gonna need to add 20 more uses for me to like call this project successful and choose another palette. And the goal for me, or like the reason why I'm doing this, is to be able to use these palettes 20 times, and then once I do use any of them 20 times, roll another palette in, and that way I'm gonna have multiple palettes by the end of the year that would have at least 20 uses, if that makes sense. I hope it does. So that's kind of the rules. I don't have to use, when I count my uses, it really doesn't matter if I've used only one of the shades in that palette or if I've used all of them or a couple of them. Every single time I use the palette for any number of shades, I count it as one use. Because obviously, like, you need different amount of shades for a look, and also I don't always use one palette. So sometimes I use like 8 shades for a look, and they are all from one palette. And sometimes I would use 2 shades for a look, and they would be from 2 different palettes. So I feel like it doesn't really matter. I know a lot of people who only do like one shade type of eyeshadow look, so I feel like it's not a problem for me. And yeah, that's kind of the rules. Nothing too crazy. If I'm really gonna feel like it's impossible for me to do that, which I think it really shouldn't be, because I only have palettes that I want to use. If I would notice during this project that certain palettes don't work for me anymore, then it would be a reason for me to declutter them, because one of the reasons why I really enjoy rotating my collection is to notice if either my palettes are going bad, or if I'm just not into them anymore, if they don't work that well as they used to, or if I just realize that over the span of time I've just found better quality and it no longer fits my standards. That also sometimes happens. So if I would really feel like it's not possible for me to hit 20 uses and I would notice that I don't actually enjoy the palette, it's gonna be a reason for me to declutter that one and give more love to the rest of my palettes. I currently have like 60 palettes, I believe. Well, more than that, because I haven't counted the new palettes that I haven't reviewed yet. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 palettes that I haven't reviewed yet, and I haven't started reviewing yet. So they're not in the list of eligible palettes. Otherwise, I have all of them, and I think the number was 60. A couple minutes ago, I kind of written down all the palette names into this like a wheel roulette type of app that you like spin, and it picks one random how do you call that? Like the one of the options. So I think it was 60 products there, and I wouldn't mind going a little bit lower in the number of palettes that I own. Like I would be really happy if we had like 50 palettes at the end of the year, which is not gonna happen because there's absolutely no way that I would be able to either use up 10 palettes or get rid of 10 palettes. And it also, like, it's impossible for me to not buy a singular palette in a year. That's just, I don't really see that happening. So since there's already 4 palettes that I haven't counted in this and I already bought them, so like, yeah. We're off to a good start. But yeah, that's kind of the entire premise of this project and what's gonna happen. And now we're just gonna get right into picking the palettes. Also, in case you're new here, hi, my name's Sasha. I love indie makeup, I love colorful makeup, I love eyeshadows. Mainly I focus on reviewing. Lately I've been also really into building my own palette. I obviously love project pan. I love palette bingos. I love any kind of reason to use my collection more. I film weekly makeup diary videos and all these types of things. So hopefully you'll find content that you enjoy. And without further ado, let's just get right into the roulette. I can't wait for this. So let me just get it in front of me. And I'm also gonna start screen recording my on my computer so that you can see what it's picking. And yeah, I'm gonna show you first all the palettes. You can see that there's like all the inputs, all the names, and I hope I've mentioned everything in here. Like if I forgot like one or two, what are you gonna do about that? Like that can happen. So that's all the palettes, and now we can just get into spinning. So I'm so nervous, but I'm like also really, really excited. So the first one is Chicago palette by Nomad Cosmetics. That's really exciting. Like that is so cool. It's one of the newest palettes that the review is already up on my channel, but I think I've only used it for the review 3 times, and I don't know if I've used it afterwards because like I've been on a really short vacation and then yeah, I feel like I haven't really used it afterwards, or maybe once more. So that one is cool. Then the second one is the Bitten palette, which is my newest palette. I've already filmed 2 looks with it, and after this video I'm gonna film my 3rd look with it. So this is pretty exciting. So that's the Bitten by Gourmand Girls. Then another palette. Let's see what it's gonna be. Oh my god, this is so exciting. Okay, sorry, my camera stopped recording for some reason, but the 3rd palette that it picked is the Ice Maiden by Beauty Moon Cosmetics. So excited for this one because this one is again one of the newer ones. It's older than the previous 2, but it's definitely like I've had it since the beginning of December, I think, or end of November. So it's still pretty new and I haven't used it too much. Like I think I've only used it 5 times. I will pull up the my like Excel spreadsheet to show you or share with you how many uses they have and how many uses we need to get to roll them out of this project. But yeah, that one doesn't have too many uses and it's beautiful blue icy palette. So I'm so excited about this. And then the 4th palette was the Laguna by Glamshop. So this one is also really exciting because I've only used this twice. I've bought this palette, I think it was November, with the sole purpose to depot all the shades and use them as like my magnetic singles to build my palettes with. And then I decided that I really love the way it looks. First of all, the colors to the packaging, like everything about it is so pretty. So I decided that I'm gonna try to use it a couple times and see if I want to keep it the way it is in the packaging or if I'm gonna depot that, because I can always depot that, but if I don't want to regret depotting it. So, and since I've only used it like twice, maybe 3 times, I think it would be really good to get into that. And it's mostly shimmer palette, so I feel like I can really easily use that and get the uses that I need. Sometimes it's harder with like the mattes because I usually don't, well, I use like 3 to 4 mattes per look, but it's harder for me to remember. Usually I would use all the mattes from one palette, and then for shimmers I usually either use the ones that are with the matte or I reach for another palette, but I usually don't mix too many mattes from different palettes because sometimes it's kind of hard to blend different formulas, whereas with shimmers I feel like it doesn't really matter. So that's kind of where we are. I don't know if I should do 5. Should I do 5? I'm gonna try to spin it for the 5th time, and if I'm gonna like the pick, I'm gonna also add it, and if I won't, we're gonna stay at 4 uses at the 4 palettes, because already like 4 palettes using all of it 20 times, that's 80 uses, which is like 3 months worth of using it if I'm gonna only use one of them each day, which I'm obviously not gonna use only one of them each day, and I'm also not gonna use like I'm not gonna force myself to use just these 4 every single day with addition of other palettes. Like I'm probably gonna take breaks in between. So I'm gonna try to spin it one more time and let's see what we're gonna get. So, okay, so it landed on the Earth palette by Little, and it's the Avatar The Last Airbender collection palette. I've actually haven't really used that one too much. I think I've only used that like 4 times, and it is beautiful. And I mean, it's gonna be spring soon, so I'm probably gonna use it a lot. And I really want to use it. Okay, we're gonna add 5th palette, and it's gonna be Earth by Little. So let me grab all the palettes, let me get my spreadsheet, and I'll tell you all the details and show you. Okay, so I have all of the palettes in front of me, and well, except the Earth palette, because I didn't realize that that one is at my parents' house, but I will go there in like a week, so then I'll get it and pick it here and take it here so that I can work on it. Which I think that one's gonna be pretty easy to work on because it's green and I mostly wear greens. I wear them very often. But so first up, we're gonna get the Nomad palette. So that's the Nomad Chicago Speak Easy, this one. And I've used this one let me see. Yeah, I've used this one 3 times only. So, oh my god, there's this like velvet packaging on the palette, and it already has like dust and everything there. But let me show you. This is how it looks like. It is gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's a very everyday friendly palette that I can literally put on, and then I can use other palettes with it. But like, you have a lot of different things that you can do, and it's like a perfect neutral palette for me because I don't really wear neutrals, but I feel like this is the neutral palette that I would wear on a daily basis. So I'm very happy about this one. I'm just gonna write down that it has 3 uses, so we need to get to 23 to roll it out of this project. And I mean, since I do have to use it at least like 4 more times before I'm gonna put it in my monthly ranking, or like sorry, not monthly ranking, monthly haul, I'm still gonna need to use it anyways for at least 3 more times. So it's absolutely fine for me to have it on a project like this. And at least it's gonna motivate me to really use it. Then the Bitten palette, as I said, it only has 2 uses because I'm currently reviewing it. I'm gonna film my last look with this one either later today or early in the morning tomorrow, so that I can release my review of this one. And let me show you how she looks like. She's so pretty. She is very like anti-Valentine, and I love that. I was kind of hoping to upload the video today because it's Valentine today, so I'd really want that, but also I'm not really sure if I'm gonna have time. It's already like 7 in the evening, and I would have to also edit the video and upload it, so I'm not completely sure if I'm really gonna push myself that far because I'm kind of tired. But this one, very pretty. I don't really wear pinks too often, but I do like purples and I do like these like cool tone greens, so I feel like I can make this work. And also it kind of corresponds with some of my Project Pan shades from the Christmas Eve palette by Uden's Eye, so I feel like I could kind of work on 2 projects at the same time. And obviously I'll also need to use this one a couple times for my February haul, which is gonna come out in like a month. So again, I'm gonna get uses out of this. Then the Laguna by Glamshop. Let me find it. I'm just completely and utterly blind. Okay. By the way, let me know if you would want me to show you how my spreadsheets look like, because I think I've read at least 2 comments lately that people are kind of asking me how I keep up with all the numbers and stuff. So if you want me to show you how my spreadsheet looks like, I think it's pretty basic the way I do it, but also, I don't know. I know a lot of people don't know how to really use spreadsheets and how to make sense of them. So if you want to see that, let me know down below or leave a like on this video and I'll film like a quick tutorial and show you what it looks like. Because like I have absolutely no problem to film that video. It probably wouldn't be too long video anyways. So yeah, if you want that, let me know down below. I would happily do that. So this one, I've actually used it 4 times. I'm so surprised. I did not realize that. But now that I think of it, maybe I've used it for the shimmers. Like, yeah, now looking at it, maybe for the shimmers. But this is how it looks like. As you can see, it only has 2 mattes, I think. Yes, it only has 2 mattes and they're wonderful. They're these greens. I love these greens. But otherwise we have shimmers and they're really easy to use. Like this one is beautiful as highlighter on the cheeks as well, so like I can always get uses as a cheek highlighter because I have a lot of single shades that are kind of like this from Terra Moon, so I technically don't really need a shade like this. It's just that I really love this shade, but technically if I'm being really honest with myself, I can dupe this. The other one's not so much, but this one definitely. So yeah, this one has 4 uses, so we need to get to 24 to roll it out, and I feel like this one could be pretty easy. I kind of feel like I'm gonna have to try it, but I feel like the shade Risky could also work as a warm blush because, sorry, warm highlighter because it is pretty. Like all of these shimmers are pretty iridescent, except these 2 dark ones at the bottom. So I feel like I could also use it as highlighter. And I feel like that's the best way to get uses on your projects is to kind of use the eyeshadows not just for your eyes but also like brow. If you have like a neutral shade in your palette, you can use it as a brow product. You can absolutely use eyeshadows as highlighters and blushes. Just make sure that it's not too flaky for the highlighters and that it's not too pigmented for the blushes, but otherwise you can absolutely use that. So that's Laguna 4 times. And then the Ice Maiden by Beauty Moon Cosmetics is, let me find the spreadsheet again, here. Come on. So this one I've used 6 times, which I kind of thought it's around like 5 to 7. So I was pretty spot on. But yeah, the Ice Maiden, She is honestly kind of too pretty to be true. But yeah, she's mostly shimmer palette, so again, I'm gonna be able to use it quite easily. And again, it has this shade, which is kind of like a highlighter shade, because it's not too sparkly, and I don't love it on the eyes, because again, I just prefer something more sparkly. But it would be a wonderful highlighter, kind of like a blushy highlighter, the same as the Snowden, but it's also really pretty in the inner corner as well. And it also has black, like a matte black, so I can use that as a eyeliner. So I feel like this one should be, maybe this one's gonna be the easiest to get 20 uses on, because it also has a lot of different colors of shimmers. Like you have pinks, purples, greens, teals, blues. So you have the silver, that's like holochrome. Did I say purple? Probably. So yeah, like, and those are the colors that I wear the most. The only color that isn't here that I also wear a lot is like orange yellow. So yeah, this one's gonna be, I think, the easiest of them. So I can't wait to use this, because again, like, it's beautiful, and Beauty Moon is pretty new palette to me. I only have two palettes from them. I have the Gospel palette that I was kindly given by Philip because we were friends on the on Instagram, and then I bought this one. And I'm so surprised by the quality and the fact that the price point is so low, and they have like really wonderful packaging, really wonderful, just everything about them feels good to me and feels right. So I would love to give them more love and use with my eyeshadow looks. So yeah, I am so happy about this. And I'm gonna share with you the Earth statistics. So the Earth palette by Little, I've used it 3 times. Because when I got that, I was reviewing a lot of palettes, and then kind of autumn started, so I picked the Fire palette to be my like autumnal palette that I'm gonna use a lot. Then winter started, so I picked the Water palette, which is on my winter makeup collection. So I was kind of focusing on that one. And I also used a lot of the Air palette because it's just, I think, the most versatile, and just, I don't know, there's something about the color story that I don't really have that color story anywhere else, and it's wonderful. But because I kind of have a lot of green palettes, I forgot to give the Earth palette a proper use and let it really shine on its own, which is really a shame, because all the 3 looks were out of this world. The most beautiful green palette ever. Well, maybe with the Hella palette by Uden's Eye, but genuinely, oh, so gorgeous. It is such a perfect green. All of the shades, it's, I need to like really use that one. And I think I will use that one a lot. I can absolutely see myself just like devouring this and really really doing some damage to this palette. So those are my 5 palettes I'm gonna work on. And I don't know if you want me to give you like monthly updates, because I already have a lot of things that I talk on pretty often. Like every single week I have the makeup news, which I haven't done 2 weeks in a row because I don't know, one of the first footage was horrible, and I couldn't even upload it because there was so many problems with the sound and everything. And last week what happened with that footage? Yeah, I had the first 3 minutes, and then there was like a still picture, even though when I was recording, it looked like it is recording normally. And then I only had the last, like, I don't know, 4 minutes. And I didn't want it to like redo it because I was too tired. And then I had too many things to do. So that was a little bit of a problem lately, but it's gonna work next week, or like it's gonna work in the future, hopefully. I'm gonna really try to make that work. And obviously we have the weekly makeup diaries. I usually have like a review once a week, and then we usually have like I already have monthly Shop My Stash and Shop My Stash updates that I film. Then there's the haul, the empties that I usually film every single week, every single month. And every 3 months there's the new seasonal collection, and then also like the recap of the previous seasonal collection. There's so many things. So I don't know if I'm gonna have time to update you every single month. I think I'm just gonna update you once I hit some kind of goal with these. So either when I'm gonna have like 10 uses, or once I hit the 20 and will be able to roll the palette out, or if I notice that I don't want to keep the palette anymore. I think we're gonna have more like sporadic updates once something major happens with these. But yeah, definitely let me know what you think about this project. If you remember how it's called, leave it down below, please. And let me know if you would participate in anything like this, and what palettes would you choose, or if you would randomize it like I did. But that's it for today. Have a wonderful day, and I'll be super happy to see you tomorrow. So bye, and have a great day.